We were in the South Haven, Michigan area for a while, and so I decided to go out to one of my very favorite beaches, and that would be Pilgrim Haven. That place has it all. They've got a nice parking lot with plenty of parking, unlike some of the other places that we end up going where you have to fight for a parking place. And lots of rocks, lots of granite, of course, but fossils and lightning stones and other things if you're willing to look for a while and hunt and maybe even dig for a little bit. Found some beach glass there. I know people always love beach glass. So had a good time, gave away my best finds though to other people because it's just hard to resist when kids are there looking for something and I can hand them a really nice favicide, which is what I did today. Then that makes me feel good, and I like that more than if I was to carry it home and keep it for myself. So anyway, watch and enjoy, and then get out and get wet and get yourself some rocks, minerals, fossils, you know, the whole 9 yards. Pilgrim Haven, natural area. One of the best places around to do some rock hounding. Nice parking lot, restrooms, trash can, sidewalk to the beach, plenty of parking. Pilgrim Haven, loaded with rocks, fossils, multiple kinds of sedimentary rocks, igneous rocks. It's loaded with rocks. Everything for your pretty rock syndrome, fossiliciousness. Yes, it's a great place. Well, it's Father's Day at the end of the day, and you kind of figure that everything will be picked over pretty good, and certainly there are probably a lot of rock pickers out today. But as you can see, there's still plenty of rocks to be had, and there are more that are going to be pushed in. So of all the collectible stones that you could look for in Lake Michigan, Pilgrim Haven, immediately you can see that there's plenty of granite. Okay, that actually looks like a stink stone. Looks like a stink stone. See how big the crystals are? You know, that is a granitoid. Granite having pretty large crystals. It's not microcrystalline. That's a really cool sedimentary rock. Maybe we could say that's sandstone. It looks pretty cool. Some fossil soup. Everybody calls these wishing stones. It's got a quartz vein running through it. That's really nice. The red here would be some feldspar. and some mica. That's a very nice granitoid. And this looks like either a stinkstone or a highly eroded horn coral. Fossil soup. Yeah, some really nice little crinoids there. Actually kind of nice. Rocks like this just looks so fossilicious, I figure might as well turn it over and just see if there's anything there. It's got some fossils in it, but nothing really that's all that spectacular. These I'm always looking for what people call a cold water agate, and this does have some potential. I'll take it with me and see what it looks like when I get it cleaned up. It's a nice piece of unikite. When you see the green epidote and the red feldspar, you got yourself some unikite. Somebody on one of my Facebook pages that I'm a member of said that they came to Pilgrim Haven and all the rocks were gone. They'd all been picked away. Of course they weren't. We'll never run out of rocks in Lake Michigan, but they were buried with sand apparently on that day, so never fear, the rocks are there. So just in the last few minutes, picked up this nice little death plate. This area right here looks like a silica replacement of a fossil, and I believe it's a cold water agate. This, at first glance I thought this was a chain coral, but in actuality I think it might be a holdfast from crinoids, so I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more. I picked it up because it's a nice little piece of quartz, but it's actually got some lines in it, some banding. So I'm not saying it's an agate, but it's potentially maybe a maggot. Okay. This is a nice little crinoid bead, and another, what I would say is probably another cold water agate. So that's been a pretty good little spot here. Oh yeah, and there's it's a little piece of phallosite, a very small piece, nothing really to write home about. A couple of nice pieces of quartz. There's a little bit of slag just in case you are partial to finding slag. We've got a nice piece of unikite. It's got the feldspar, mostly feldspar, and let's hope we don't crush some of the other stuff. And yes, there are lightning stones here. I didn't find much in the way of lightning stones, but there are some here. Now this, believe it or not, is a tiny, this is a Petoskey stone. There's not very much there. It's a really bad one, but there is enough there that I can tell it's a Petoskey stone here at Pilgrim Haven. And what a nice view of the sunset. Not a bad time of the day. The quartz and any kind of glassy kind of rock will show up really good in the sunlight. The angle of the sun is very beneficial for helping you to see that. Whether it be morning, midday, or in the evening, it's a good time to go rock hunting. Yeah, there's a nice piece of granite. A lot of feldspar in that one. The water is a little murky today. Not real easy to see. Lots of basalt here, which is part and parcel of what we've got here. Limestone. That's a pretty piece of granite. And an even prettier piece of granite. I love the banded ones. Not well, it's not really banded, but the wishing stones, they look great. All right. Unakite. Very nice. Would you call that a heart? Trying to find a heart stone for my wife. Oh. I like this basalt with little crystals that formed in there. It's like a little bit of cladophora. Nice piece of gneiss and granite. Granite. All right, finally, a little piece of beach glass. You know, it's not really my thing, but I do save it mainly for other people. It's the only one I've found on this trip in its entirety. Scoop them up, lay them out. That is a very pretty unakite. Little piece of crinoid. Very common, but I don't find them very often. More crinoids. I don't know what causes that horseshoe look, but you sure see it a lot where you've got a little bit of the crinoid exposed, but not so much on the inside of the crinoid. Nice. G-N-E-I-S-S and stinkstone, I suppose. Yeah, I like that. That's fossilicious. It's not going home though. Lots of unakite here. I guess I would call that a Gogondotillite. I just didn't know that they had those here in Lake Michigan. I'm going to have to study up on this a little bit. I did find a nice little piece of banded chert in this last batch that I threw out here on the beach. Well, I could stop and see what other people made their fire ring out of. So we've got some basalt, lots of basalt. That's kind of a nice rock right there. Centerpiece of what looks to me like urbanite. Oh yeah, it's got the metal rebar sticking out of it. That's interesting. It is a beautiful beach. And there are fossils here. Like that one right there. Mostly granite, basalt, nice. Limestone, nothing wrong with that. Okay, that looks like a stroma. See that wavy pattern there? That's interesting stuff there. Oh yeah. I'm guessing horn coral. Silicified in there. Right in there. Little piece of beach glass in that last batch. Basalt with some quartz inclusions. Every once in a while they're just staring you right in the face. It's a nice little fabicite. Well, just to show that you can find a Petoskey stone here. It's a tiny one, but that's what it is. Oh, that's a nice chunk of beach glass. I haven't seen anything quite as nice as that today. There are some beaches that I think you just can always count on them. They never disappoint. And I would put Pilgrim Haven in one of those categories of never disappointing, and I always have a good time at Pilgrim Haven. So I hope you go there, and I hope you have a great time too.